You're not wrong. The world is a bonfire right now, and whilst all the chaos is happening in the world, the one thing I know is that you've got to stay true to yourself and find your own way to stay happy and joyful. And I was talking with my girlfriends about this at the weekend. We went out for Sandra's birthday lunch. We're all in our 50s, and we were like talking about things that are non-negotiable, that we are never now going to let go of in midlife. And I wonder if you recognise some of them, or you might be thinking, I want to hear these because I want to add these to my list of non-negotiables, or I want to build up my own list. Let's go. Hello, Bab. I'm Marvarine. Midlife with Marv is my channel where on the days you don't feel like you're winning, I'm here to cheer you on. So the first one is say no to people who drain your energy. Say no to events. Say no to work that drains your energy. Had a friend that when we were in our single days, we were going out partying, drinking, men, all the rest of it. One girlfriend, she was obsessed with finding a husband. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone wants to find a soulmate, right? But she would disappear and she wouldn't tell us where she'd gone. And she'd be like, I'm just going to go and speak to this guy, right? We'd go and try and find her. She'd gone. She'd text us later going, I'm at home. But we'd spent an hour running round the bar, asking security, asking the bar staff, do you know where she is? Do you know where she is? We're worried sick about her. We dumped that friend, okay? Got a friend like that? An energy drainer? Let them go. Not avoiding your finances. Sometimes when you know your finances are in trouble, you might have some debts, credit card debts, you might have an overdraft with the bank, you might have a loan, and you're worried about the payments. You get the bills through the door and you put them in a drawer and you hide them. And I've done it. I've hidden them for months. But actually, what we've got to try and do is be brave. You know, the day I felt the most depressed was also the day that was most brave. And I got all my bills out, put them on the table, got the calculator, worked them out. And then, finally accepted the fact that I'm not going to be able to pay these. I have no money to pay these. If you're living in a social housing flat, you've got a low income, you're not bringing enough money. You just got to talk to those creditors and go, this is where I am. This is all I can offer to pay. Let's try and work out a payment plan, but stop avoiding finances. Definitely a non-negotiable. Around money, if you can sort out your money and you can get a side hustle and you're bringing a little bit of extra in, you need an emergency fund. Honestly, the amount of years that we never had an emergency fund, and you'd be stressing when you had to service a car and you knew that it was going to cost 200, 300, 400 pounds to get the work done, and you didn't have it, or you didn't have enough credit limit on your credit card to pay for it. You need an emergency fund, that rainy day fund, just to cover any strange eventualities. How can you build that up? Sit and work out how you can do it, and try and get beyond. We were talking about how you try and get beyond that, I haven't got it, I'm never going to get it. Try and move away from the scarcity mindset and go, let's work out how the hell we're going to make a fund, right? Something that me and the girls talk about all the time is prioritizing our sleep and our rest. I did a video on radical rest and how you can just grab little times of rest, because it's not always possible to do the spa, but I bet you love a good old bubble bath if you've got space in your house, if you've got a lovely big bathroom. Even rest for me is cooking myself something nice to eat, just taking a walk away from the laptop. How attached are you to your laptop? I'm ridiculously attached to my laptop. But prioritizing it and not feeling guilty about it. So make sure that's another non-negotiable for you, right? I was having lunch yesterday with a girlfriend of mine who has done brilliantly on her weight loss journey. We're the same age, early 50s. We were comparing notes around the supplements we take. So she was saying I take glucosamine, magnesium, calcium. I said, do you do your creatine and your BCCA? Because all of these things are really important around the weight loss journey, and also our weight loss medication, and also getting into the gym, doing the weight training. I am loving working out with Tash now. And, the whole thing around menopause, remember, muscles waste away more as we go over 40, men and women. But as we go through menopause, it accelerates. And every bit of research, medical research will tell you, and the doctors will tell you, as women in midlife, we need to do resistance training. And for me, I took that as going to the gym up the road, going to weight training. I struggle most days. I struggle to go once a week, but it's really important. So health and well-being, prioritizing that. Nutrition is another important one for me. So all of those superfoods incorporating into your diet, all those healthy greens, your spinach, your bok choy, your broccoli, making sure you have all your vitamins, your supplements. These are things that actually I took for granted when I was younger. So if you're doing the same, just incorporate those into your life real quick. And obviously there are lots more gluten-free options now, and also organic options. It pays to pay a little bit more for those healthier options, but get those into your life as well. Self-care isn't selfish, honestly. I keep saying to the girls, actually, when are we going for a spa day? And they're like, when are you going for a spa day? When are you going to book it, Marv? Whoever's debating it, whoever's discussing it, let's just get it done, right? So if you can do the spa day, if you can afford it, if not that, your local drugstore is going to have just some lovely little bits and bobs. It could be just buying that extra luxurious bath soak, or those Epsom salts, which are meant to be really good for soaking the body, the muscles. Maybe it's a little eye mask. Just having at night to yourself. And if it doesn't involve soaking your body and soaking your bits, is it is it sitting in front of the TV watching the latest episode of your favourite show? Got a list here. I've been sneakily looking at my list. There's another one. Oh my gosh. Find your freedom number. Now, I said this to Austin the other day. I said, Oz, how long are we going to be doing this? So he's later in the 50s decade. I'm earlier in the 50s decade. There's 3 years between us. I said, how long are we going to be doing this? Like our job. I said, because like in 10 years' time, I actually don't want to be doing this job. And early retirement is a luxury for a lot of people. But actually, I have the belief that we can make it work if we want it. So I said, what we need to do, we've never done it before, is try and do some kind of retirement planning where we sit down, we work out the numbers. What are our bills now? What do we pay for in the year? Like holidays. What are the holidays that we want to have? Where do we want to go? Do we want to have another holiday in the year? And then work out how much money we're going to need to pay for that, and what sort of income we are going to need if we're going to stop working full time. It's going to be a scary thing. I've heard it called the freedom number, like work out what your freedom number is. So our freedom number hopefully will be 65. Which for me means I'm going to be working another years, but 65 sounds like a good number. Around the kind of goals and ambitions that you have in life, there are things that I still want to do, and I imagine there are still things that you want to do. But how do you go about achieving those and not thinking about, well, I'll be happy when I achieve this goal. I want to lose 20 pounds and then I'll be happy. That's not what I mean, because that's what they call a toxic goal. I'm a coach, so I talk to my clients about, and I ask them, what do you want out of life? What matters to you? Is it that you are someone who wants to give? You're a benevolent person. You believe in the innate value of everyone. You want to help people less fortunate than yourself. And so what kind of job or volunteering could you do that takes your heart to that path? So around your goals, what takes your heart to the path of something you want to do? Something that makes you feel like you are creating value for yourself, creating value for others, that you're serving others, you are helping others. And it's really important to have that as a non-negotiable in our lives now, because we've run around doing a lot for a lot of other people. And, whether that is trying to make that big career work for you. You probably raised children, you've been looking after pets, you'll be caregiver for elderly relatives, you'll have been through some massive, massive health issues, menopause, bereavement, the lot. You've been through the lot, yeah. And somewhere you kind of lose yourself in some of these things and you forget, what do I want? Why can't I be happy? Who do I want to be? So prioritizing your goals that are true to your heart, that you have trusted in yourself to find, that you've made room for, to trust yourself to find. So that means making time to sit and let your mind be free. That's massively important. I'm not the best at doing that. I've just stopped clogging up my entire day and week and mind. My mind was full of brain fog. I'm trying to come back to that and really get to the roots of who are you, what do you want, how are you serving, right? Yeah, and I think there's one more non-negotiable on here. Who cares what they think? For most of my life, I've been a people pleaser. I bet you have too, haven't you? You know, you say yes to everybody. You want to make everyone else feel good. You want to mold yourself and bend yourself. You want to look a certain way. You want to look perfect just to be accepted. It's a very real thing if you are not in a majority in a group or in society or of a certain ethnicity or a faith where people see you and your skin color or your hair or your race as other. So I experience that. And so, and there has very much been a culture of assimilation. You need to assimilate and integrate, right, and not be, and uniqueness was not accepted readily. So I am so used to being a people pleaser. Not now, no, not now. I will be who I am. If you don't like the way I speak, if you don't like my accent, if you don't like the way I wrinkle my nose when I laugh, if you don't like the sound of me when I laugh, if people don't like something about you for some irrational reason, and you being that person with integrity and honesty, and they still don't like you for some reason and you can't put your finger on it, who cares? Let them be bitter. Let them be, oh, what about her? The only thing we can control is our reaction to someone who thinks oddly of us. Don't care. That should be your reaction. Don't care. You know, these non-negotiables are really going to turn your life around, and I think you should couple them with this, the 25 things that I quit at the beginning of this year. Go check it out. See you soon. Thanks for watching.